Ballyhoo, ballyhoo, the Passion Project continues. My name is Remedy Robinson. I'm a linguist, author, and a very loyal fan. And this is an appreciation. This is an exploration of linguistics, language, and how to achieve immortality, as framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master, Elvis Costello. Today's slow drag is with Suspect My Tears from the Grammy Award-winning Look Now, released in 2018. The songwriting is credited to Elvis Costello. Among the many striking features of this piece is that, while properly released in 2018, Suspect My Tears has been around and has been played live in concert at least 20 times between 1999 and 2004 before disappearing from view, only to find its permanent home among other indelible pieces such as Burnt Sugar and 1996's Grace of My Heart's Unwanted Number. Do you remember how to say please? You've had your own way for such a long time. Your lashes sweep down, dry your cheek. You think I'm powerless when you speak. You may have something I don't deny. You look so beautiful when you cry. A tender moment, or perhaps a moment of tension, this piece outlines a lover's exchange filled with intimate, polarizing aspects. The sequence of events feels as if they have probably been acted out before several times and have just now come back around to this familiar plot point. There's something so exquisite about the to and fro of resolve and crumpling. You've had your way for so long that there's no pretense of civility left. The magnetism that prevents the scheming couple from moving away from one another resembles a captivating sensual dance. The world watches as the jolts of power and passion are passed between them. Each player knows their role, comforting, repulsing, confessing, repeating. If I seem unconcerned, perhaps it's time you learned. I'll cry until you suspect my tears. You're not the only one who can turn it on when and where you need it. This is a first-person narration. It's a monologue presented in the passive voice that nevertheless speaks in harsh truths. How pityingly eloquent Mr. Costello contorts the refrain of "two can play that game" into a piece of art. Do you remember how bad it felt? Big eyes would fill up, your lip would tremble. You want to hurt me, but then you melt. You always promise to lose control. I learned a trick that you used to play. I'm tired of you having it your own way. There is a calm restraint that flows through this piece, as evidenced by the failure to incite a riot. Is the narrator of this verse the same as the narrator in the first verse? It seems natural for two people to accuse each other of always having to have it their own way. So many of Mr. Costello's pieces feature multiple characters, and I have a hunch that this piece is no different, even if it's not exactly overt. To add an additional layer of obfuscation and intrigue is the question of whose big eyes are filling up. It's the only line in this verse that is not assigned its own pronoun. Whoever spoke first did warn there would be more tears. With the power to persuade beginning to cascade, I'll cry until you suspect my tears. You're not the only one who can turn it on when and where you need it. An overflow of tears, furthering the game that two can play. It seems obvious to ask what is meant by suspect my tears. It goes straight to the question of motivation in general, I'd suppose. When does sincerity end and spite begin? How long can you do something before it begins to provoke the opposite feeling in others? If you hear me weeping, I may be cheating or just laughing inside. If you're suspicious that I'm sly and vicious, here's your chance to decide. Two hypocrites collide. It seems nearly impossible, or at least difficult at best, to express a lack of passion using such passionate and vivid imagery. Yet here we go again, amazed by these genius turns of phrases. This verse cuts to the heart of so many love affairs. All of the unfounded fears we all go through that vacillate between the worst possible act imaginable with the self deprecating, oh, I know I'm being silly scoff of dismissal, with I may be cheating or just laughing inside. Either way, it feels like a low key form of one upsmanship and all the devious joy that comes along with it. Then, of course, adding to the two can play that game comes the logical conclusion to the dark thoughts of if you're suspicious that I'm sly and vicious, then why stay? Why not walk out? Go on. That's the one question we are all much better at answering for others than for ourselves. This is the crescendo of both the piece and the debate taking place. This is not the muffled sounds of young lovers bickering on the other side of a thin apartment wall. This is a world weary devotion that has been tested before and will probably be tested again. After all, there's comfort in predictability. I'll cry until you suspect my tears. I'll cry until you suspect my tears. You're not the only one who can turn it on when and where you need it. When you need it. Dig it. Again, this has been a slow drag with Suspect My Tears from 2018's Grammy Award winning Look Now. It's a meta lovers quarrel that peeks behind the curtain to show just how the magic is performed. There are no more secrets, just continued one-upsmanship. Love, after all, is a contact sport, one that Mr. Costello plays on a surprisingly level field, rarely dipping into cliché or objectification. There is real love and real loathing laced throughout this piece. Recently, the phrase timely and timeless has been bandied about in order to describe Mr. Costello's work. And while nothing can eclipse My Aim is True, this 20-year-old piece on a 2-year-old album is more proof that this moniker, timely and timeless, is bound to last. And that's it for today's slow drag, my friend. Thank you for listening. I highly encourage you to listen to episode 13 of Slow Drag with Remedy, Not Quite Against My Will. It's a slow drag in comparison between Stripping Paper from Look Now and its forerunner piece, Shatterproof from Punch the Clock Rhino re-release. I'm on social media. On Instagram, simply search for my name, Remedy Robinson, or search for the name of the podcast, Slow Drag with Remedy. I'm also on Twitter at Slow Drag Remedy. Give me a follow, say hello. I follow back. Also, please visit slowdragwithremedy.com for companion blogs and other useful information. I'm putting new transcripts up weekly. And of course, please take the time to give us a 5-star rating, especially on Apple Podcasts. As always, thank you for helping to get the word out about this little passion project. Truly, it means the world. So, until next time, adieu, my little ballyhoo. Slow drag with remedy.